Hey guys and gals, this is Elemental Storm bringing a reboot of my series called Have You Played? This will be a weekly series, and today we're looking at the game called Don't Starve. This is for the PC and the PS4. It's made by Clay Entertainment, and they have done some indie games in the past. So this is basically a survival game that's a Tim Burton meets Minecraft type style. It's very cool, and I'm going to explain why. First things first, though, we're going to get us some options, so let's start with that. Okay, so as you can see here, when you start, you basically have a slot to pick from, and when you go in, you have various characters to pick from. Now, in order to open up the various characters, the idea of the game is basically surviving for as long as you can. Days, years, the whole 9 yards. The more you survive, the more experience you get, because when you die, it all counts itself up. And then what it does is it will unlock characters depending on the amount of experience you get. You always start with this character right here, the gentleman scientist named Wilson, who has a very, very awesome beard and is very good for the winter to keep you nice and warm. So, I know I have one myself. So, with that said, these are the characters you could pick from, as you can see here on the screen. So, take a look at them for a second and stuff. Now, again, the idea, this is a survival game. What you can do now is your other option, excuse me, is you can go in and you can create your own world per se. Every world is procedurally generated, but you can go in and you can decide if you want longer summers, longer winters, less food, less monsters. Basically, you can make it as easy as hard as you'd like to. That is a big plus. So from here, we're going to go right into some gameplay. Okay, so as you can see, the world is now generating. As I said, the world is procedurally created every time you play, no matter, one playthrough to the next. It's always going to be different. Things are always going to be changing around in different places, etc. And that's very cool. So it's got a very long replay value in this game. All right, so this guy right here, this is the guy named Maxwell. He's kind of a demon or a devil, I guess. He kind of tricks you into coming into this world, and now your option is, well, your only option is to survive. So let's start out with some of the basics. What we have here in the top right-hand corner is your day time. It shows how many days you've survived, and it also counts down in terms of, as you can see, it's almost like a clock that keeps going on. The yellow basically means when the sun is up, the red is when it's dusk, and the blue feature there is when night hits. That's your most deadliest time. You always have to have a fire basically lit, or you are going to die. Now the things below that, you also have 3 meters that you always want to keep an eye on. You have your food, you have your health, and you have your sanity. If any of these get down to basically the bottom of them, there's a good chance you'll either starve to death, you will obviously die if you lose all your health, or your sanity meter is a very interesting one, because the way it works is the more insane you get, the more these shadows start to appear around you. And when you get basically totally insane, the shadows kind of come alive and they can kill you. So it's your mind basically taking over and, letting things happen and stuff. Here, this is a nice feature. If you hit the touchpad on your PS4, you open up your map. So as you can see, you can look at your world. It's nice too, because once you build a base of operations, it will show the various things on the map as you create them, so you'll know always where you are and how to get back to there, because you're going to do a lot of exploring in this world. One of my top tips right off the bat is, try to find a good base of operations that are maybe near some pigmen. Pigmen are really cool, because what they'll do is, if you become friendly with them by giving them berries and stuff like that, first off, you can gather their manure or their poop, for lack of better words, which will be used to build farms. They will also attack things for you. So if you're getting attacked, basically what happens is, after a certain amount of time, these dogs are sent after you, and if they come after you and you're near some pigmen, the pigmen will fight them because they'll see them a threat, and you'll have these soldiers that will be hanging around. You can also, once you feed them enough, you can kind of take them with you and go explore, dungeons or caves and stuff, and you'll have them to fight with you. So it's really cool. So here we have this is gathering. This is one of the main things you want to do right off the bat. How you do that is, on your PS4, you hold your X button down on the object, and it will start gathering. Also, if you hit the triangle button, it will do an inspection. Every character has a cool little thing to say, mostly a lot of comedy and stuff when it comes down to it. So every item you can take a look at, and it will explain what it does, or it will give you kind of a little snide comment remark about the item or something. So as we get in here, you'll see that the bar down below is filling up with all these little items that I'm gathering and stuff. This is a key feature. You want to just keep gathering up stuff, because this is going to be what's used for crafting and surviving. So let's see here. All right, so now over to the right-hand side of the screen, we have our functions that we can build. So right now we just made a axe. Now we're going to make a pickaxe. These are, vital tools and whatnot. Of course, as you craft more things like a science table and stuff like that, you'll be able to create stronger, durable items. You'll be able to make weapons, armor, fires, traps. And then even later on, you'll get into some like alchemical or magical properties and stuff that will basically allow you to survive the longest. I mean, the idea is basically the main feature of this whole game is just how to survive. Okay, so we're going to jump from the daytime here, and we're going to get into a little bit of some nighttime so I can show you how that. Okay, so here we have the nighttime, as you can see here on the day clock, that we've now hit that blue bar. So right here we're going to build up a fire, and this is a key feature. You always want to have some sort of light near you, a fire. So what I just made there, after gathering about 12 flowers, you can build a garland on your head. These are great to have because your sanity meter, like I spoke about before, you always want to keep that in check because, as I said, if it goes down to the bottom, you're going to end up having these shadows that come alive and start attacking you. So, that is definitely a key thing. All right, when you hit the R2 button on your PS4 controller, you basically will stop time and you can look at your inventory. This is great because you can kind of see what features you need. And once you put it back up using your D-pad, you can go ahead and you can, do certain features. Like if it's a food, you can eat it. If it's like a log or something, you can put in the fire because you always want to have your fire nice and built so stuff doesn't attack you. This is nice too because it kind of gives you that kind of pause and play scenario, so you can be like, okay, what do I need to do here? Let me pause it and think about this for a moment. So you're not always stuck with that daytime going basically counting down over and over again. So this is another thing you definitely, as a kind of a tip, you want to always cook your food, because if your food is not cooked, it will it will decay and it will become rotten and stuff, and you don't want to eat rotten food because you'll get sick and it will take your health down. So that is always a key feature. It leaves your food, basically, if you cook your food, it will last longer. So this is a plus. And then later on, of course, by wintertime, you want to have like food storage areas or a crock pot or something of that nature, so you can just keep your food always safe. So basically, this is the way the game is set up. You go through the different seasons and you try to survive, and it's really cool. It's got a lot of replay value and stuff, and every time, like I said, you die, you gain experience. And we're gonna go take a walk out in the darkness. This is what I did in my first run when I ever first played the game. Didn't build a fire. I'm like, what's gonna happen? And that's what happens. I got hit the first time, lose about half a health. You get hit again, and then basically you're done. So this is why you never want to be caught out in the darkness, because you'll just get killed by the monsters that live out there in the dark. So after that happens, what will come up, you'll get this bar here. It'll tell you how long you survived. It'll basically give you your amount of experience you gained. The more experience you gain, the more days you survive. Basically what will end up happening, you'll unlock characters, and the idea is just to keep going. The game is pretty much, it's a full replay game. Every time you die, there's no save per se. It auto saves, but like you can't go back, and if you died, go back to where you were. So that's kind of the very cool feature. For some it might be annoying, but for others it gives you that thought of, okay, what did I do wrong? I need to fix that. And of course, if you're on your like 99th day or something and you die, you're going to be a little frustrated, but it's the fun of the game. So check it out in the comments section. Let me know if you've already played this or if you plan to, and let me know what you think. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one.